All right, so today's video, we're watching a gold 2 DPS on PC playing Reaper. They say, hey, I have come back to Overwatch after over a year of not playing. My placements went really well, but I feel like I'm not improving at all. This game was really strange for me. I feel like my skill fluctuated a lot and was never really consistent within the rounds. I know I struggle a lot with knowing where to position myself, when to frontline with my tank, and when to flank. We managed to capture first point extremely quickly, which led me into a false sense of security. I thought the game would be a breeze. I was very wrong. I had no idea how to counter the enemy hog. He kept hooking me every time I got within range to actually damage him. I ended up getting rolled over and over. Any help would be hugely appreciated. I got you. I'll do my best. So Reaper on Nabani is already a toughie. Okay, so let's start with step one. Let's start with step one. I'll just start off right from the get-go. Why not just go here? Because like right away you want to establish that you're going to be on the flank. Just like TP here. Start already being a little bit annoying at the beginning. TP here, make a little bit of noise. If you come this way and they look at you, you've already accomplished something. If they don't, you might get a free kill on a Mizuki. Your cooldown will be back up again, so you can TP back here. But get yourself set up behind them. That is like the first step you want to do here, is get yourself set up around these areas if they're pushing up this far. I guarantee you'll see great success. It seems like you're doing that now, which is good, but I want to see you be a little bit more sneaky with it. But either way, TP across now. TP across to the high ground from across from you. Yep. See, you wanted to talk about setup time. Like, just TP over here. Now you can decide when to drop down, when to get kills. Like this is how you want to do it. A lot of the Reapers I play against, that's what they do. They'll TP up here. Now you have to worry about this. They don't look at you. You're just firing down on this hog from above. Or, you know, you can go for the back line, make a decision. You have health packs around here. Over here, you can make these choices, but don't just like drop down to the low ground. Like, utilize that like TPs around the map. Otherwise, this is where you are doing, you know, how much damage have you done? You've done 255 damage. Seems like you're doing a lot. That's because you're shooting 3 damage across the map. See what I'm saying? That's on you. Again, you're playing very static, and you did mention the Roadhog's hooking you. Like, ready? If they're here, okay, and you don't have you have a tank that can really be utilized to help you, which a Doomfist is not, you know, the same as like if you had like a Ramatra here or a Sigma or Rhine, etc., which can kind of like shield us up. You want to work on your pathing. Look at this. Hallway behind here. Ready? Look what you see now. See this? This is what you see, and now you have free kills or opportunity. But if you run in front of them like this, that is the struggle. Let's see what your decision is after the rest. Yep, so now you should path behind. Yep. I guess you could stay here if you want to, but you got to be very careful. Because if you sit in the middle of the open, you'll get hooked or shot at, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Notice how your gameplay loop is you just taking a bunch of damage over and over again, and they're just all looking at you? You're the one that can adjust that. TP above them now. TP above them. TP above. Because like, what's going to happen is you're going to keep shooting. Yep, there it is. See, you're playing into the hog. Okay, the hog wants to show you their skill expression by healing a lot, right? So they're just gonna keep healing themselves out. So you notice how you're just following the hog around? I think, okay, let's kind of talk about this. Early Overwatch 1 days, Reaper was a tank buster. That's what Reaper was known for. And that still exists, right? Like the Reaper tank buster style exists. But you're also good at killing other targets now. So like, you want to kind of start going for the backline or above them aggressively, and then tank bust when the time is right. Right now, you're just shooting at the Roadhog. This is a good spot, by the way. I like this. This is where you should have been, like, earlier. This is good. So, yeah, you're on the high ground here, and this is what you're doing as the Reaper. You're just playing around the map. You're looking for stuff to go. And thank you, chat, everybody. That's very, very kind. Let's go. This I'm okay with for now, but don't... Yep. So, like... Okay. You hear them... Let me ask you this question. Okay, you hear them running up the stairs, and your reaction is to meet them. Right now, here's your problem. Your decision-making, and I'll pause for a second. Here's your decision-making. There isn't any. You have one... Well, actually, there is. You look at a tank, you shoot at the tank, and then that's it. You heard a Roadhog going up the stairs, your reaction? Go at the Roadhog running up the stairs. Yes, you're a tank buster, but you're not going to one-shot that Roadhog. If it was 6v6, maybe. But you're not going to one-shot him, but you can do a lot of damage because of the less HP. You also heard the Cassidy. You're not going to win that team fight. If you do, it's like a low percentage play to begin with, and I wouldn't recommend you to do that every single time anyway. Yes, you need a play make, but I need you to start... Okay, here you go. Yes, now you're going up the high... Yes, there you go. Now, remember, where the... Let me show you something here. Don't drop down. Do not... Okay. Good kill. I don't mind that, but like, I want you to kind of see this later on. If they're here and your teammates are putting pressure on them, you got to think about where they're backing up to. They're going to back up to here. So if you go up here, path around, you're now behind them, and now you can get a Reaper ultimate and get free kills. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can go behind and get free kills this way, but then, like, if you go this way, they see you. That's why a lot of it's like, you're not really surprising them. You're kind of playing a very static, like, way to play Reaper. And yeah, it can work sometimes, but you yourself said it was very inconsistent or it wasn't working, right? And that's because you're not, like, the Reaper playstyle now, with shift being as quick as it is, or not shift, like your teleport, like, you can get away with a lot more plays. Prodigy, thanks for the prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see what happens now. Yep, you're indecisive. Be decisive. Just go one way. All right, listen, you're not playing like, you're not trying to be like, oh, try to catch me. Like, you got to be decisive, okay? You got to be decisive in these situations. Are you going right side? TP right side and just send it. Are you going left side? Go through the left hallway and send it. If you get killed, you learn from it, and that's it. But this is what I'm always going to kind of suggest to people. If you play scared or indecisive, you're never going to know it works. And the only way to learn from what you're doing is to make those mistakes and then learn, okay, that wasn't a good play, right? But you also need high sample size of that. If you TP over here and get one shot by, I don't know, Mizuki hits the sickest chain and you get one shot by your Sojourn, well, does that mean that you stop doing that? Well, no, you got to learn, like, okay, if I go here 10 times over the course of a few Nimbanis and I see, you know, a 70% success rate, I'd say that's pretty damn high, right? But you can't just do the, whoop, gonna go, oh, where am I? Oh. That's what you were doing. I want to see more decisiveness, like more like I'm going here. And whenever you watch me play, I will call that out for myself. I'll be like, I'm being indecisive. I'm stuck in the mud. What am I doing? Where am I going? What's my choice here? Because that is kind of how you want to approach that, okay? Eventually you make this play, so I am glad to see this. Keep in mind, Mizuki can chain you or the Hawk can hook you. And again, do you see why I wanted you to teleport to the right side? But I'm glad you made a decisive choice. Going up against a Roadhog that close, not a good choice. So now you want to decisively try the right side. See how it plays. Rinse and repeat. Okay, let's see what your play is now. Out of spawn. Remember with Reaper, it's really good to TP behind them. It's a much more effective thing. Also, Chad, have you noticed has the Reaper been using their dire triggers a lot? I feel like I haven't heard the sound a lot, but I haven't been looking for it either. Okay, you're shifting out. Remember, if you start high ground, this is less of an issue, and you got one shot. I mean, I do see the cooldown used there, but I do want to give you a suggestion. I haven't seen you use it much. Remember, for anybody new, dire triggers, which is your right click, or if you're on console, whatever that is now, it is a really effective tool for good burst damage. So just remember to use it more frequently. If you just returned to the game, this button didn't exist then because they added this as part of the base kit recently. It's L2. Okay, got you. So just remember to utilize this a little bit more because you can do a lot of burst damage with it, and it's really effective. Yeah, well, that's why I've been giving them the suggestion of like TPing above or flanking behind, because there isn't much. This is basically, truthfully, you're playing Reaper like you would have played Reaper 8 years ago. Straight up. Like that's what you're doing. You're playing a very default, like, I need to group with my team and I shoot at the tank style. Honestly, I don't feel like Reaper's at that style much anymore. Even in pro play, when you see the occasional Reaper, it's a lot of backline pressure and the tanks die after. Basically, I think the vision nowadays with how, especially in 5v5, tanks are very tanky until they're not, and generally the way to make them not tanky is to get kills, or not to have them not be very tanky is to kill their backline. Or put pressure on their DPS, and then the tank takes a lot more damage. Obviously, 6v6 is a little bit different. You get away with a little bit more. Here's the Reaper. All right, so what has changed in the beginning of this game? From what I've seen, absolutely nothing. You're still doing the same gameplay loop. And the Roadhog's gonna keep killing you because, like, you're not... If I'm that Roadhog, you're doing nothing to surprise me. You're not even trying to bait out the hook. I'm not going to always suggest this, but I would seriously rather watch you use your shift in front of a Roadhog just to try to bait out a hook at the same time than just do absolutely nothing at all. I'm not saying to do that all the time because it's obvious, but like, you're not even making that Roadhog think. That Roadhog goes, oh, there's a Reaper running at me in a straight line. Let me hook him. Okay, now you're passing the high ground. There's a Roadhog up there. I'll be honest with you. I'll give that play to the Roadhog being a good play. But let's take a little bit of a note of that. Let's take a note of that. What happened there to you? What did you notice about that play? You know what it was? You got surprised. Why? Because their Roadhog went on a flank and made a different play than running it down mid. Do Do you see what I'm trying to say here? Keep going for these plays. Keep going for this high ground. Just because they kill you there once, I'm telling you, the moment you start to put more backline pressure and learn to like be able to TP out of situations, you're going to dominate. Now, is it tougher against the Mizuki, Roadhog, Cassidy backline? Of course it is. That is not an easy backline to play. But if you like Reaper, you like Reaper. So you have to learn to play around that, right? Okay, so you hear the hog, so now you're going towards the hog, but now you're running away from the hog, and then now you're using your shift, and then now you're up here. Okay, so what's your play now? TP above them, right? Across above them. TP above them, across. TP. Incoming. So let's take a look at this scoreboard right now. You're playing Reaper, and you're 8-7 with 4,200 damage. Again, all this like damage you think you're doing, you're not doing any damage. So like the point I'm trying to make is like there's nothing that you're doing here that would open the field up for your team. If your teammates get kills, you're gonna go up here and do a little bit of damage, but you're playing like Sniper Reaper most of the time, and at best you're playing Cassidy Reaper. You're playing Reaper, close range target. I know that you want to tank bust a Roadhog here. It's not gonna happen if their whole team is alive. The only way that would like consistently happen is if their Roadhog forgot to heal. This gameplay loop out of you is the exact same. And you're gonna never have like consistent gameplay if this is what your gameplay loop is. You need to go behind them. You need to take high grounds. You're like, hey, but sometimes I win games playing, on the ground with a Reaper. Okay, yeah, that's fair. And if that's working, that's working. But if that's your one distinct play style, that is how you're going to be inconsistent. You can't always expect to be able to run it down middle at the other tank and make a play. And that's the problem right now that you're running into. You're just making the exact same like play the whole time, and that's causing problems, right? So I want to see you kind of get out of that, I guess, that mindset, right? Most of the deaths have been to the Roadhog, yes, which again is a problem in itself because get to their backline, please. That's all I'm asking. In their backline, you know what? At this point, don't TP. Okay, that's unlucky. That is I will give you that one. That is unlucky. I do that with Sigma ult sometimes. But that's also indecisiveness. You notice how your whole gameplay loop is running around in circles? That's your gameplay loop. Decisiveness. Teleport. Okay, I'm gonna show you something here. I'm gonna go to this Sojourn. I gotta show you, just so you can see this. Okay, I'm the Sojourn on the enemy team. Get ready. You just did like 33 damage or whatever it is, right? That 33 damage that you just did? Did that Sojourn even react to you? That Sojourn could have sat there, took a sip of their coffee, energy drink, took a bite out of their sandwich, and all this Sojourn had to do was look at you, and you shift away because you're not doing any damage. You see what I'm saying? Like, if I was that Sojourn, I'd be like, oh boy, you're not doing anything. So like, this is what I'm saying. You need to get closer to them. And getting closer to them requires using your full kit. You teleport over and you do 100 damage to this Sojourn. This Sojourn's now sliding away this way, sliding away that way. What does that do? Pull pressure off your team this way. Do you see what I'm saying? You're just not using your kit. You're playing a very generic style of Reaper, but you're not playing Reaper. You're playing either Widowmaker or... It happened again. But you're playing either Reaper or Cassidy. You're playing, Widow or Cassidy. You're not playing Reaper. Okay, now you're going to ult, right? Right in front of their face. So why not wait 3 extra seconds, teleport correctly on the high ground, and make a play? I'm telling you right now, there's no way you're going to be able to improve if this is what your gameplay loop is. Like, you're playing a Sniper Reaper. You're playing Reaper, okay. You're playing Reaper right now against a Roadhog, okay? If you were to navigate around this map and play this correctly, you should have more than 6,200 damage. Now, I'm not a stat watcher, right? I have games where I don't do as much. But the point I'm making is if you end up in a game with a tank that you can do a lot of damage to, if you navigate the map correctly, you're probably finishing this game with a crap ton of damage and way less deaths. Straight up. So the point I'm making is you got to navigate around with your TP. You need to teleport above the high grounds, behind them. Start with their supports. All right? I'm telling you, you're like, yeah, but like Reaper is a tank buster. Yeah, but like you can't just sit in front of like the Roadhog the whole time. You need to kill their supports. Roadhog can self-sustain to begin with in 5v5. Never mind if they have a Juno throwing a couple heals at them. So you start with their supports. When you start with their supports, that pulls pressure away from the rest of your team. That means their tank is more susceptible. Now their tank is, are you ready for this? What if their tank has to use his heal resource? The Roadhog has to use the heal resource from the other part of your team. So that way when you kill one of the supports or you do backline pressure, when you go up to the Roadhog finally, you're on a flank. They already don't have a hook and you're getting kills. Do you see the difference here and how you could play that? So anyway, I'm just trying to show that. This rank is in gold. Okay, so let's see what your play is now. So, what's the... Okay, so they have a Sigma now. Oh, wait, no, you have a Sigma now. Sorry, so you can... Okay, so now you're going to teleport up there now? So, like, why not start up there? Why sit in the middle of the open waiting for things to happen? This is what I mean. So, just let me get this clear here. The Cassidy, you end up accidentally on the flank of a Cassidy, and what's the result? A free kill on a Cassidy. Do you see what I'm saying? Set yourself up around the map to be able to go for these flanks or these close range plays. That's not like their Roadhog, and you're having better results. Make sure to... So wait. So now you get close to the Ash, and what happens? You get kills. Have you seen their Roadhog? Look where the Roadhog is. Now guess what? What happens? I'm so glad we just had that discussion right before that. Because exactly what we just talked about happened, and look what you did. Look what you just did right there. You end up on a flank accidentally, and you clean up and get 4 kills. All because you played to the strength of your character rather than running right into the Roadhog over and over again. You see this? I want you to see this and realize how... Look at this. Close range against a Cassidy. Perfect. Great job. Using your cooldowns. Do you see what I'm saying? The difference in this playstyle right now? See that difference? You can do this, and keep in mind, you can do this on attack and defense. You have a teleport ability that can set you up behind people. Don't you dare peek that hog. Yes, there you go. Now wait. There you go. Yes, this is perfect. Now watch. You don't even have to get the kill. You've already accomplished something. Look where their Juno is. Their Juno's back in the beginning of the Nabani. Now they have to worry about you. Look it. Stay there for now. It's okay. Do you see the difference? Oh, let's run after Roadhog again. Good kill. Hey, it worked out. Okay. It worked out. I mean, I'm not going to... It finally worked. Good use of teleporter. Again, decisiveness. Decisiveness. Okay? I don't like that you use your shift in front of the Roadhog, obviously, but I also do. Because remember earlier when I said I'd rather see you use shift in front of a Roadhog and try to debate them out? You did. It worked. It wasn't the way that I suggested it, but you did it. Again, different change of pace against these heroes. Oh, I know. You got to be on the high ground more. Again, you can drop down from the high ground. You just got to wait for your moments. All right. So you hear a Cassidy on point, but you're above him. You know what that means? I'm not... You know what? I like the decisiveness. TP out of this. TP out of this. Teleport. If you teleport out of this, you can get back up on the high ground. Instead, you're not... Now you're kissing the Roadhog again. I want you to go back up on the... If you go up on the... You're not... Okay. When you go up behind them, above them, you're having good results. Stop running that. You're not a tank. I know you're a tank buster, but you're not a tank. Go above them and pick, like, a target to go for a kill on. Get a free kill. Make them turn around. When you played that way, you had almost a full hold. When you started to go back to your default play style, they capture the point. Do you see the difference here? Right? Yep. I like that. Someone says you're a tank buster and not a tank buster. That's so dumb. I'm 36. Okay. Here we go. Let's go in here. You said they're low-key just farming damage on the hog? I'm sorry, you said farming damage on the hog? I've seen... No. It looks like they're doing damage to the hog. That hog it doesn't even know they're taking damage. Also, nice shot by their Juno. Again, We're back to that same default play style. Why not sit right here and wait? Why are you pushing past this angle? I'm not saying this is a high percentage play, but when your team's already losing, sit right here. Get a surprise kill on the Juno. Maybe you pick up a second kill. Maybe they overreact. Like, you have a mini right here. You can make a play happen. Why are you running in front of them? Play a little bit like more like, you know, kind of sneaky and then get that free kill. Enough of like they're just running at them in a straight line on the low ground. And I'm telling you, you're going to see good results already. I can see mechanically your aim when you feel confident is solid, like you're hitting your shots. But like you're not giving yourself even an opportunity to hit those shots. Okay, yep. You're back to kind of just running in circles. Yeah, okay. I don't know why your Sigma's... All right, so if anybody wants to know, for the Sigma there, you want to back away to the corner when they high noon. Play positioning. All right, go high ground for now. Do not walk out of the... Oh, yes, yes! Let's go! Yeah, why do I feel like that's the first time I saw you utilize TP? I might be misremembering. That was the first time I saw yourself in a spot that wasn't ideal, but you TP'd out and got to survivability rather than sitting in the same spot and running at a Roadhog. You can do this now to be aggressive and make plays, okay? I'm just glad you did that. I just wanted to point that out. That was a good play. Now don't heck it up now. Don't. So what you want to do is you want to stay in that, you know what? I think you know by now. And there you go. So you lose the game. And here's the great news for you. You have a lot to work on, but it's not a lot of tough stuff to work on right now. If that makes sense. I ain't sitting here telling you to go and practice your aim for, you know, months or go work on this, go work on that. Right now, it's about decisiveness and about making, you know, a little bit more of a flank style play. So 2 things I want you to work on. I want you to make a play decisively. I don't want to see this back and forth like, I'm going left, I'm going right. Where am I going? Where am I going to go? Because you end up going for the tank anyway. Enough of that. I want you to go to a spot and I want you to think about this. Go to a spot and you go there. The only way you're going to learn is by making a good play or making a mistake. That's how you learn from things. That's how you improve in things. That's a general thing in anything. But right now, you have one gameplay loop. It's shoot the tank and occasionally get pushed into a spot that works in your favor. Number 2, start TP into high grounds and looking for squishies. Squishies would be anybody but the tank right now. That's what I'll take. There's a Juno, go for the Juno. There's a Mizuki, pressure out the cooldowns. There's a Cassidy, play, you know, at angles to kill the Cassidy. When you did that, you had good results. Your aim was fine. You were able to pick up kills. But enough of this running that down mid and running that the Roadhog, and I imagine you do this to other tanks. You're a tank buster, but it's not the same way it used to be years ago. If you kill the supports, that tank is definitely getting rolled. You sit there and you shoot at the Roadhog and you're just sitting there over and over again. That's how you die over and over again. Enough of this Sniper Reaper. You're doing nothing. I showed you that example of the Sojourn where you thought you were just doing something. You did 33 damage. That Sojourn didn't even know you were shooting at them. They could have had their monitor off and been fine if you were shooting at that range. I'm not even joking. You wouldn't get that kill. Like, has anybody here ever had somebody lag out in front of them and you're on Reaper and you're shooting at them at that range? They survive. One Mizuki hat comes in and they're back to full HP. The point I'm making is you're getting no value at that long-range sniper style, even like the mid-range kind of Cassidy style. And just to add on to it, I said 2 things. Use your dire triggers more. That burst damage is really effective. That goes for anybody playing Reaper, okay? So start to do this part of the gameplay of that loop I was talking about. There's a very good chance you'll see good results. And if you get rolled a couple of times doing it, you're going to learn from that. And then apply that knowledge. Next thing you know, you're much more consistent. The aim was there at times. Start doing those flanks a little bit more. Start getting a little bit more of the high ground control. Start setting up better. I know I gave you a lot to work with, a lot of easy things to fix. Next thing you know, you're going to have good results. And as I always say, and chat knows, chat, what am I going to go with? You got this. You absolutely got this. You like the video? Make sure to like the video, I guess. That's pretty apparent. Leave a comment, you know, sub to the YouTube. All that helps. You want to submit your own spectating. My Discord's where to do that. If you want to learn more about the game or see spectatings like this, it's going to pop up over here on the bottom. Make sure to click it. It's good. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.